What's going on, guys? Taurus Tactical 556 here again with another firearm review. In particular, in this video, I'll be reviewing my Springfield 1911 A1, somewhat custom, you know, as you can see. So far, the only thing I've added on here is a Valkyrie Dynamics muzzle brake, aka compensator, and some grips by them as well. Of course, you know me, I'm a huge Punisher fan. Laser engraved alloy grips, pretty good quality. Again, this firearm's been safety checked prior to this video, but I will demonstrate. There's no mag in the mag well, and there's no round in the chamber, as you can see here. Now with 1911s, you definitely want to be careful, when you don't have a magazine in with rounds or snap caps. It's not a good idea for you to release the slide and just let it smack back in place. The reason being is because from what I've seen is that you run the risk of damaging internals where the lockup is, the barrel to the slide or whatever, and some other notches that it has in there, and you don't want that. With a new modern polymer pistol, you can do that all day long, no problem, but with an all-metal gun like a 1911, you definitely gotta baby it, you know what I mean? I mean, they're rugged firearms, but I don't know. They're nice firearms, why run the risk, right? Just better to avoid it. For the sole purpose of this video, I have a Wilson Combat A-rounder here, loaded with some snap caps, fake ammo, good to go. I'm just gonna throw it in here, because why not, Just right in the magazine well right here, rack the slide, load a round in the chamber. Man, definitely a different sound. Safety on, of course. Definitely a different sound compared to a polymer pistol for sure when you load around in the chamber. Yeah, anyways, this gun here, it came out of the box with some Coca-Cola grips, wood grips here. Very nice grips. Good craftsmanship. Springfield logo, cross cannons here, checkered. Very nice. I love the look on these on the gun, but this is more of an original 1911 for, say, a Colt. That's the granddaddy for all the 1911s. That's the only 1911 that I would leave alone how it is, because for the original look, Colts are nice. They look good with wood grips, just how they came back in the day. Anyways, moving on. It also came with 2 7-round magazines right here. These are loaded with real ammo. This is the real deal right here. Big old 45 slug. Definitely not gonna put these in the gun for this video or in general. This is not gonna be a self-defense pistol. I intend to use it as just a recreational shooter, something nice to have. I've always wanted a 1911. Something to show to the buddies, pretty much, kind of thing. I'll show home intruders or anybody else that threatens my family or my life, my Glocks. I trust the Glock to go boom more over a 1911. 1911s are reliable, but a Glock, you can't go wrong. But anyways, put these aside. It also came with another pair of grips. These are more for like range, range use. They're plastic polymer, Springfield cross cannon logos, checkered, good grips, decent. Why not, right? This here is the original barrel bushing here that it came with. This is really interesting. The way this muzzle brake goes on here, it's not threaded. This is not a threaded barrel. In California, you cannot have threaded barrels with any kind of attachment on that threaded barrel. The only way you'll be able to have that on a threaded barrel here in California is if it's pinned and welded in place. That's the only way, but then you wouldn't be able to take it apart, so no point. This compensator here goes onto the front of the slide the same way that the bushing would go in. You slide it in and you twist it in place, and then this little notch here will lock into the slide and keep everything together. So that's the original, keeping it in case I ever want to go back to normal, you know, to stock for whatever reason, or if I sell it, you never know, I don't know. This is the original spring cap here that I came with. I had to get a shorter spring cap to make this work. I also got it from Valkyrie Dynamics. They have pretty decent stuff, you know, here made here in the US. Yeah, moving on with the gun itself. Slide serration, pretty standard. These are more at an angle compared to like an original 1911 that are just straight up and down. I don't mind, I like them. You know, they're pretty grippy if you grab a good grip of them. No front cocking serrations here on the slide. I don't mind. I actually prefer this look with no serrations in the front. The sights are very nice, man. Look at these things. They're not fixed. You know, you could definitely switch them out if you'd like, but they're, you know, these are decent. They're metal. They're adjustable here in the back. The front one, it's not really adjustable, but you could replace the sights. But I mean, this is a pretty nice dovetail sight up front, and these standard, not low profile, because, you know, low profile sights sit obviously lower, and on original 1911s, they didn't have white dots like this. They was just like, you know, black metal. So, yeah. Again, this is not a true 1911. This is a 1911 A1. These are a little different than like original 1911s, obviously, you know. Grip safety, standard. I don't really care for the beaver tail. They look nice, but this works for me. Hammer, just a basic solid hammer. I don't really care for the skeletonized ones. I've heard some things that, you know, sometimes it might give you light primer strikes. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't really care for it. You know, I'm keeping these for sure. Trigger, I will be replacing the trigger. This is a standard GI trigger that's all the way back here. It's too far back for my taste. I would like it a little bit forward, you know. And I'm getting a Wilson Combat skeletonized 3-hole trigger for this. You know, the thing with 1911s and parts, they're not like the AR platform or Glock platform. A lot of parts are just drop in, right? 1911s, you know, back in the day, guns, there were a lot of them, you know, well, most of them, all of them really were hand fit. You couldn't just, you know, manufacture a part and throw it right in there. A lot of them would need some, you know, fitting needed. And that's kind of unique about 1911. You know, that's just how firearms were back in the day. And, you know, to me, that's pretty unique. So, you know, if you want to get different parts, you know, you might have to do some filing and polishing, or, you know, more to make them fit. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Again, this gun here is not meant to be carried as a self-defense piece, or, you know, even use it as home defense unless I had to, unless this is what I had with me and somebody came through the door, right? Then I would. But other than that, this is more of you know, something to show my buddies kind of thing. And again, you know, the whole thing with the Punisher in me, I'm a huge fan of the Punisher. Started watching it when I was a kid. You know, I saw his first appearance in the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s, the cartoons. And from there, I really liked the character a lot. You know, the movies, the comic books, whatever, Netflix show now, pretty cool. This gun, I got the inspiration to build this gun from the Punisher movie in the early 2000s with Tom Jane. I'm not sure if you guys remember seeing that movie, or if you have or not, but in one of the scenes, Frank's with his dad at a, you know, they were at a party at the beach side before the mobsters killed Frank's family. And his dad was showing Frank his two 1911s that he had built. And it looks just like, they look just like this. Obviously they weren't Springfields or Colts, but you get the point, you know. That's where I got the inspiration to build this. Pretty unique if you ask me. I'll give you guys a closer look at the compensator muzzle brake. This one in particular, it's the Punisher model that Valkyrie Dynamics makes. You know, the thing with compensators and muzzle brakes, there's some science to them. You know, you might get some kind of reduction in muzzle flip because technically, you know, when you shoot a gun, the gases will come out from the top right here, and as you shoot, you know, a lot of guns, you know, especially 40 calibers or 10 millimeters or a hot round like that, they have a lot of muzzle flip. This might be able to help a little bit. I mean, I think that the compensators that are threaded on the barrel work better, obviously, but I mean, there might be some reduction in muzzle flip in this, but I mean, not too much that you'll really notice it. But yeah, you know, I got it for the look more than anything. You know, 45 is actually, in my opinion, they're smoother to shoot than say a 40 cal or 357, definitely, because a 45 is much smoother. It's more of a pushback action rather than muzzle flip. You know what I mean? So just something to think about. Yeah, you know, this is a single stack 1911. They do make some 1911s now that are double stacked, you know, but if you're gonna get 1911, in my opinion, you should get a single stack one. You could get 10 round magazines, you know, they'll stick out a little bit, but I mean, you can if you want to use it for self-defense and carry more ammo. Again, you know, 1911s, for people that carry them, they're meant to be carried cocked and locked kind of thing, or you know, I'm not really sure the terms, but pretty much you carry around chambered, the hammer back, ready to go, and the safety on. So when you pull out, disengage the safety, you know, take aim, whatever, pull the trigger, boom. Just real quick, I'll demonstrate the trigger, how smooth the trigger is, and the hammer. You know, a lot of people say the 1911s have the best triggers, and I can see why now. But yeah, you know, again, it's loaded with snap caps. But again, you know, I'll press check this real quick to assure that there definitely isn't a live round in there. Purple snap cap, no brass, good to go. So again, I'll show you guys how smooth the action is on this. It's not too much tick up on the trigger. Safety's off, good to go. Check this out. That's pretty crisp. I don't know, I'll find out more when I finally get to shoot it. I haven't shot it yet, but I imagine it'll be pretty good. I've heard nothing but good things about these Springfield 1911s, so really looking forward to firing it as soon as all this crap dies out. And I'll do a range review video on it when I do. So yeah, one thing I was thinking, I know this might sound kind of lame to some of you, but I wanted to get some, maybe not real gold, because that would be far too expensive, but some gold plated or silver plated, gold plated silver grips, whatever, I don't know. Just something that I kind of always wanted to have, you know, just to have, I don't know, my culture, you know, Mexican culture, you know, a lot of people back in the day carried 1911s or 38 Supers with gold grips, you know. Yeah, I know a lot of you will say cartels or whatever. No, I'm not a cartel member or anything, or a psychopath or a killer or anything, but, you know, it's just something that I've wanted to have, you know. Yeah, you know, again, the whole Punisher thing might give a wrong image to a lot of people, but I'm not a vigilante, mob killer, or nothing like that. I just love the character, just putting it out there. You know, I'm a family man. I have a daughter. Yeah, just putting that out there. I just love firearms, you know, just like anything else. Some people like smoking weed, right? I don't, but, you know, everybody to each their own, right? Same thing with the firearms, you know. But yeah, of course, we're viewed as threats to society and everything. But yeah, no, we have our Second Amendment right. Yeah, I mean, overall, this is a very nice piece. I'm really excited to have it. The only thing that I'll switch out on this, like I said, is the trigger. Eventually, I might consider switching out the safety here with a Wilson Combat stainless steel color, you know, or stainless steel safety to kind of match the accents like the barrel and the muzzle brake here. Yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Again, I love the stock hammer that these have. It's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know why you would want to do it. I mean, you'd have to rack the slide back anyways to load it around, but you know, it's kind of cool. They could actually grab the hammer and lock it back, you know, that's kind of cool. Something just to mess around with, but you know, don't mess around with it. Obviously, you know, you always want to treat a firearm like it's loaded, you know, and double check, and don't fuck around with it. And don't dry fire 1911s without a magazine with a stack cap in at least, because again, you could damage the internals, and yeah, you don't want that. So again, you know, press check this real quick. Snap cap inside, good to go. Safety's off. Little take up, break, perfect. Yeah, you know, if you want to get yourself a 1911, you know, I definitely recommend Springfield. They're in the middle, you know, they're not at the lowest or the highest. Depending on which model you get, of course, you can get a really high-end Springfield for like $2,000 or upper 1,000s, you know, yeah. But the Milspec model is a nice base to start with, you know, for customization. They're pretty decently priced. They're not cheap, but they're not expensive either. And yeah, you know, if you want to get 1911 and customize it, I definitely recommend this. Very nice piece. I'll show you guys the slide here. Model 1911A1, caliber 45. Pretty nice. Pretty decent serrations. They're more at an angle, more than straight up and down, like a original 1911. One good thing about these is the ejection port here is lowered and flared. It's supposed to help with ejecting rounds and making it more reliable to minimize the chance of it jamming on you. So that's pretty cool, you know. Springfield cross cannon logo here, Springfield Armory. I'm gonna show you guys the serial number, but yeah, you know, definitely one last thing I want to touch bases on is the field stripping cleaning. It's definitely more to it. Definitely gotta be careful when putting it back in together, because you don't want to do that idiot scratch, it's called, when you're putting it back together, where a lot of people end up scratching it while assembling it back together. And just watch videos on how to do it, and don't just do it thinking you know how to do it if you've never done it before, because you could potentially scratch up the finish, and you don't want that. So yeah, definitely more moving parts, you know. We gotta be careful on putting it back together correctly. You want to make sure it's safe, operational, and you don't want the hammer falling back when you release the slide on a live round. So yeah, make sure you do your homework with that, and you'll be fine. Other than that, yeah, definitely recommend the Springfield 1911. I just want to share this with you guys. It's very unique to me. Again, this is just something to show the buddies, you know, something to be proud of. Wouldn't use this as self-defense unless I had it. It's the only thing I had with me at the time, and if I needed it. Other than that, it'll just be a safe queen, meaning you would just be in my safe, you know, collecting dust or whatever, just looking pretty in there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or anything like that, you know, feel free to hit me up on any concerns, or if you want to get an idea about these or whatever. Again, I'm new to the 1911 platform. I still have a lot of learning to do, but I know a decent amount, you know, so. Oh, you know, real quick, one thing I really like about this model here is it comes with an arched mainspring housing here. And I really like it because, I mean, I have pretty decent sized hands, and it really helps you get a better grip, you know, because it sticks out more, and it takes up that empty spot here that one with a flat mainspring housing, you know, wouldn't take. So that's pretty unique. Yeah. You know, magazines, a lot of times, you know, if you have a problem with the 1911 with it jamming or anything like that, a lot of times I've been told and seen online that a lot of times it could be a magazine issue. It definitely could be other things, but magazines a lot of times are the #1 cause, so look into that. You could get 10-rounders for these. Really, in other states, man, you could get freaking drums for this thing, you know what I mean? But just 7-rounders are fine for me. Like I said, this is just a shooter, you know, just something nice to have, not something I'd carry for home, you know, something I'll use for home defense or carry around with me. It's too heavy. I mean, shit, I mean, 7 rounds, man. If you run out of ammo, now you have a freaking hammer. You know what I mean? It's all steel. So yeah. One thing I like to say about the Springfields is the steel is forged. It's not none of that pot metal that's, you know, that cracks really easily or whatever. I believe there's still some of the parts, or most of the parts for these are made in Brazil, but they've been making them for a while. You know, they know what they're doing over there. There are some here in the U.S., but yeah, I think some parts are still made in Brazil for these. But yeah, I mean, they're pretty good guns. Yeah, you know, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, again, like I said, you know, feel free to hit me up. I'll help you as much as I can. And yeah, you know, just practice your Second Amendment right. Stay dangerous, you know, and be ready for the boogaloo. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Just kidding. Have your Hawaiian shirts ready and your chest rigs. All right, peace.